happening, I'm obviously getting a lot of arm engagement, a lot of ab engagement, and a lot of glute engagement as it passes over, and all of those muscles have to fire for the mace to flow, and then they have to relax in order to allow the mace to go through the motion. So the mace is unique because it is dual part strengthening, and it's also resetting your central nervous system because certain muscles are having to relax. So you cannot just stay stiff the whole time when you're doing a mace. There's a certain amount of flow and relaxation that has to happen with it. So. All right, so the Mace 360. So I did a video recently on the kettlebell halo. That's a fantastic warm-up exercise, but I believe the Mace 360 to be like a super holistic like exercise. I think the Mace in general is, pretty well reported, a very, very, very diverse, holistic way to train. But I really believe that the Mace 360 is a great thing to do. It would be worth buying a mace just to do this exercise. So the Mace 360, and there's a billion videos on this. I'm just making a video on my channel because I really think it's that important. So I'm probably not going to say anything that hasn't been unsaid or hasn't already been said, but I'm going to say it anyway. So, all right, so the Mace 360. So you got your mace. This is a 10-pound mace, by the way. It's very advisable for a dude to get a 10-pounder and for a lady to get like a 5 or a 7 when you first start out. So the mace, the top hand, the hand that's stacked up, is always going to go to the opposite side, and this is the side that you count. So if I say I'm doing a left hand Mace 360, that means that this hand is on top right here. Okay, so I stand, normal posture, just like on my kettlebell halo. I am pulling my kneecaps up and I'm getting tight. And then when I go over the shoulder, I want to watch it go over, especially the first time that I do it, okay? By the way, if you're doing these, you should be very versed in the kettlebell halo, and I would even advise being very versed in kettlebell training in general. I wouldn't advise you to grab a mace and then start hacking away at that until you had a certain level of training already, because it's pretty nuanced with the relaxation and stuff. We'll talk more about that in a second. So here I am. I'm going to watch it go over my shoulder, and then as soon as it gets kind of heavy in my hands, I'm going to sniff some air as it passes and then pull it here. Okay? Now, the mace is going to travel out away from my body, and then when it comes back around, I'm going to get tight, and then I'm going to pull down. So notice that motion of my hands going around, and then they're pulling down here, and that's going to keep it balanced, okay? So it passes over, and then I pull it down. Passes over, and then I pull it down, okay? So when that's happening, I'm obviously getting a lot of arm engagement, a lot of ab engagement, and a lot of glute engagement as it passes over, and all of those muscles have to fire for the mace to flow, and then they have to relax in order to allow the mace to go through the motion. So the mace is unique because it is dual part strengthening, and it's also resetting your central nervous system because certain muscles are having to relax. So you cannot just stay stiff the whole time when you're doing a mace. There's a certain amount of flow and relaxation that has to happen with it. So I would love for everybody to get one of these and then just pick it up randomly and just go through and do some 360s like this, and then you just flow with it. It's lightweight, so you don't have to overly squeeze. So it allows for like a more of a moderate amount of engagement. I think it's a perfect complement to kettlebell and barbell training and other types of training. It's extremely diverse. You can do tons of exercises with it, but to be honest, like most of what I do is I'll just pick it up and then do some 360s. That alone is worth buying it. This mace is I think it's called it's a retrospect mace. I got it on Amazon for like $35 during the beginning of the pandemic. It is 100% worth the money. I would spend that money plenty of times. So again, I'm sniffing air. And then a really fun breathing technique to play around with is also to go sniff, sniff as the bell passes. You can sit it in your office, corner of your room, do it throughout the day. I'm having to stand up all the way for this to happen. My shoulders are going through full range of motion. I mean, I could write a book. I'm pretty sure many people have written many books about the benefits of it. But buy a mace, put it in the corner of your room, do it. And it's also like a self-defense tool, I guess. If if you needed it. So it's they're pretty dope. So Mace are dope. If you want to be dope, get a Mace.